For the past 3 years, Japanese beetles have been causing havoc on our farm, destroying our fruit trees and garden. So we decided to fight back, using beetle traps to catch the Japanese beetles and slowly bring their numbers down. But what if there was a way to use them as free chicken feed? Now the chickens don't like eating dead beetles, so we have to find a way to deliver them to the chickens alive. So today, we're gonna do just that. So we've made a few shorts about these Japanese beetles and these Japanese beetle traps over the past week. I figured it was probably about time we make a longer video about this to explain things, because we have questions like, hey, if you have these traps up, aren't you just drawing in more beetles than you already have on your property? What do you do with all these beetles? Can't you just feed them all to your chickens? Could you just throw them in your freezer and then have a chilled treat for your chickens throughout the year? These are all things we need to address and talk a little bit more in depth on, because it's not a simple yes and no. Right now, I've got to pick up a lot of these beetles from these traps, and I'll show you why I can't just feed these beetles to our chickens. These are all dead in this trap, and our chickens just won't eat them because they stink. That's well over a gallon of Japanese beetles just in one trap. Now this is trap 2 of 6. Now I wanted to show this area for the people that think, hey, these beetles are just coming from other places, other properties, you're just drawing them in. Right here, they're not damaging anything important, it's just weeds, but they are all over some of these tall weeds. They find each other and they breed in here. All of these black dots, those are all beetles up here. And if we don't trap them and get rid of them, they're all making their way to our garden and orchard, where they'll kill all of our plants and trees that we're trying to grow food on. Look at this one right here. This trap is right here at the back of our property. This is actually, if you've seen some of our videos from last year, where we caught the bobcat and the fox was right here. Well, this is the second time in the past 2 weeks that some kind of predator has pulled this trap down and fed off of these beetles, trying to find an easy snack. Now, how these traps work. So there's this scent right here at the top that draws the beetles in. It's kind of a flowery scent. They come up here, sometimes they'll sit on top, but as soon as they breed or find each other, they end up slipping and falling into the bag. And then they end up dying because they get piled on top of each other and they just fill it up. And so all of these are dead, and usually just a little bit at the top is alive until more smash on top of them. And then to harvest them or take them out, I just untie the bottom, open it up, and then I drop that down into a 5-gallon bucket, and then take that to either compost or to feed our chickens. But I'll show you why feeding our chickens is a problem when they're already dead. Now after 6 traps, we've got a full 5-gallon bucket worth of beetles. Now I'm gonna pour some of these out to the chickens. Some of them might still be hungry. They ate this morning, but let's see if they'll eat any of them right now. So you can see them right there. They'll definitely eat the beetles, but it's hard to show right now. They're basically eating all of the living ones, the ones that are trying to fly away, and they just leave all of the dead ones. So in these 2 bowls, we'll end up having a pile of dead beetles that will stink. And so now we can just dump them into the compost tomorrow because they're not gonna eat them. So the problem that I need to solve is, how can I get these chickens fresh Japanese beetles? All right, so we've got all the parts here to make 5 more traps. We just built one and put it out with the breast chickens, and they are loving it, and I can't wait to get it out to the main flock. I'm working on setting up the first prototype here, the first trap, just make sure it works. There's already Japanese beetles swarming. That's how fast that scent draws them in. I just need some water down in that tray now. They can't just fly away. That'll give the chickens some time to get them. And so let me go over what we have with each trap, how much it costs, and then we'll show you how to put it together. So each trap, it has a 4-inch pipe, PVC pipe, that's 5 feet long. You can buy these in 10-foot lengths. You might be able to get them shorter. I don't necessarily need all 5 feet, but I didn't want to carry around 10-foot pipe in the store. So I bought the 5-foot. That'll put the beetles well above it, and then they'll drop all the way to the bottom. And then we've got a 3x4x4 downspout, and this will fit right in the top. They'll come down a little tighter, but I'll show you why we do that here in a minute, because we've got our beetle traps. I have 6 more rescue Japanese beetle traps, and so it comes with this hanger piece we need, and then it comes with the scent. The scent is the most important part of all of this, and that's what you would need to find a way to mount. And then once the beetles come to the bottom, you've got to have some kind of tray for water. So that was $5. Those traps are 10. This pipe was 16, and that downspout was 3. So for about $35, and if you have your own water dish, 30 to 35 bucks, you can build one of these, and it will bring beetle after beetle in for your chicken. And then ultimately you'll need something to attach this pipe to. I'm gonna put T-posts out there. So I don't know, you may need to buy T-post, you may just be able to put it against a fence or some other, maybe your coop, something like that. So we need to get this piece to hang the scent in the top. If you can find a way to put it in here, you can just put it directly in there. I'm doing it into the downspout. So I need to cut a little bit off of that corner so it'll fit in there. And then I need to have a spot for those little hooks there to hang in here. So I'm just using a little metal cutter. These are actually plastic, but you could use a drill bit or a little saw. So now I need to slide this inside the downspout. Get them so they pop out of there so they'll hold in place. Okay, now I've got all 4 of those in there. And now let's stick this in our 4-inch pipe. So you'll be able to push it right up to this lip, and then we're gonna tape it. Now I got some white duct tape, not necessary, but I just like a clean look right there. And then we've got our scent ready to go on the top of this. And so in less than 5 minutes, this trap is ready to go. I'll take the scent out to the chicken yard so I don't attract beetles in here. Take it out there, put in our T-post, and mount this up and see if the main flock is gonna have a lot of fun with this. So we just set this up. Immediately has 10, 15 Japanese beetles on it. Already dropping down, we've got 5 here, so I've got to back up a little bit, let the chickens discover it, and show them their new Japanese beetle treat making machine right here. Put up the trap, I just put a T-post in, and then we zip tie the 5-foot PVC pipe. We zip tie it to the post, and then I put some duct tape over it just to hold it a little more secure. At the top, we've got our scent, and at the bottom we have our little water dish that catches all of the Japanese beetles. In just the first 30 seconds of having the trap set up, 20 to 30 beetles fall into the water. You can see here as one flies in, hits the green plastic, it knocks it down towards the ground to be snatched up. The chickens can just set up here and snack on beetle after beetle, dropping into the water in front of them. It's simply amazing. All right, Becky and the kids are over here and they're putting one in the duck yard, Indio Gante yard, and then in the Bantam flock. And then we'll have 5 over here, and then we'll do number 6 right over there at the peacock shelter. Yep, as soon as you have the scent on it, it starts coming in, don't they?
They're one in my hair. No, it's on your hair. They're weird.
Probably the more traps you put out here, the more you're gonna attract all the beetles from the other ones from the outside of the property. Oh my god!
Another one in my hair.
Yikes!
Now look at the water.
Got a bunch of them down here already. What do you see, Bella?
Egg.
Oh yeah?
In the way. Egg.
It's getting the beetles so they don't eat all our trees, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe how fast the beetles come to it?
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
And one
You just know that they're already in the field if they're just right here on top of it.
All right, so we had to work under some constraints here. We don't have the height like we had out in the chicken yards over there. And so I had to cut this down about half the size. One of the peacocks, one of the white peacocks is checking them out right there at the top. And so I think they can pick them off right there and then they can get them down there in the water as well. So I tried filming, feeding these guys beetles about a week ago and they wouldn't touch them. So let's see if they'll eat some of these right as they come flying in. Oh darn, they're knocking my bowl. They're knocking the bowl out of there. Bowls aren't holding nearly enough water, so as soon as they knock the water out of there, and then there's nothing to kill the beetles or at least hold them hostage at the bottom, and unless there's a chicken there waiting for them. Here at the breast chickens, if I could get this one under there. It's a little low. That bowl was knocked out. We've got these black bowls, they're heavier. I'll just put that there. I actually came out this morning. I wanted to catch the chickens as they came out because I suspected that there would be a ton of beetles down in the water. I thought they would come through overnight and they'd be sitting down in the water, and I thought that would be an awesome thing to shoot. And I'm thinking either the smell and the traps needs to be activated by the heat, by the sun, or else the beetles are only really active when it's really hot out. Because it was a little chilly last night, like in the 60s. It felt awesome, and there were no beetles on the trap this morning. But now it's warm out again, and I see beetles on all the traps, and all the chickens are busy eating them. You know, they're just, oh, a beetle hit me in the face. Now I was wondering, is this gonna slow them down coming to our traps? Sure doesn't look like it. They're on my camera mic. Ew. So it doesn't appear to matter how many traps I have on the property. We're gonna keep catching these beetles. So we've got 12 traps around, 6 all around our property, and 6 over by the birds. And it doesn't seem to be slowing these beetles down at all. It's so gross. Oh, and we have had some people ask, why don't we put these beetles in a freezer? We tried that. We tried that last year. We actually put them in our freezer in our barn. It really got me in trouble with Becky. That freezer stunk so bad after a couple days of freezing them, and the chickens didn't even seem to care about them. They want the real thing. They want the live beetle. This is a big issue. They're gonna keep coming, and they're increasing in numbers year after year over the past 3-4 years. So we're trying to do something about it. We're trying to eliminate this problem, something that doesn't seem to have a lot of natural predators out in our pasture. This has been a challenge, but also kind of a fun experiment. How can we capture thousands of these beetles every day? At least a few hundred per hour with these traps in our 6 yards, feed our chickens for free, and help eliminate a pest issue.
Oh my God!